A lot of people talk about it at the network, and I've always said, and I still believe this, but I'm a little less adamant on it. I need to see postseason success. I think that's what we're all aiming for. Lions fans, the players, the coaches, Brad Holmes, Sheila, top to the bottom. Playoff success is everything, and I think that's what matters. But the way Jared Goff's been playing, and you look at the financials, and if you wait till a playoff win, the price, famous saying, yesterday's price is not today's price. And it's a bar, because it's true. If Jared Goff goes out there and wins a playoff game, the price goes up. So if Brad Holmes were to sign Jared Goff to a contract extension, maybe a 3-year deal, $50 million a year, because that's what it's going to be. I mean, you look at some of the contracts being handed out right now, and look at the guys who are getting paid from top to bottom. The average salary, Joe Burrow clearly leads it with $55 million. It's Joe frickin' Burrow. I get it. Herbert's getting paid $52.5 average per year. Lamar's getting $52. Jalen Hurts is getting $51. And then these are where I know Jared Goff's going to get $50. Russell Wilson, $49. Kyler Murray, $46. Deshaun Watson, $46. Patrick Mahomes took a pay cut, so shout out to him, $45. But then you got Daniel Jones, $40. Jared Goff's worth $50. Like, he's better than Kyler, he's better than Russell Wilson, and Deshaun Watson at this point, Jared Goff's better than him. So if we're talking about contract and what he should be paid, 50's fair. I know people throw around, well, why can't he make 40, 45? If you're Jared Goff and you're playing this type of football, and you go back over the last 17 games, Jared Goff, 29 touchdowns, 4 picks. That's a full season. Yeah. Like, that's numbers for you. And the Lions, I believe, are 13-4 in that stretch. I'm done doing the whole I got to wait to see it in the playoffs. I think the way Jared Goff's playing right now, he can win a playoff game. He's done it before with LA. I'm out on that. I don't need to see it. Now, ideally, of course, in every perfect situation, you wait, you see the success, then you pay him. I just don't think it's worth it, Sam, because if you wait, the price jumps up even higher. If Brad feels the need to get a deal done, somewhere, and I don't think it'll be mid-season, but sooner than later, I don't have a problem with it. And that's coming from me, who still talks, what do they have in Hendon Hooker? It doesn't even matter at this point. Like, the way Jared Goff's been playing, he's a legitimate franchise quarterback. It's pointless to start throwing around the what-ifs with Hendon Hooker when you have a guy playing like a top-5 quarterback at playing for you and winning games for you and being a big reason why you win football games. I'm done debating it. I'm done, Sam Flannel. If Brad feels the need to sign him to a contract extension, I 100% support it. I do.
Jeff, I am pretty much right in lockstep. I know it doesn't make for a lot of banter, but what can you really say after how Jared Goff performed this past Sunday at Tampa Bay? To me, that was the best performance he's had as a Lion, maybe of his entire career, considering the circumstance. It was a tough road game at a division winner, maybe a bit of a division leader, maybe a bit of a Fugazi division leader, but that was certainly a big game and a big spot in which he had no running game support, but still managed to completely dominate that game, hitting pinpoint pass after pinpoint pass to Amon-Ra St. Brown. Josh Reynolds hit a deep ball to Jamison Williams, kept the clock moving, basically dominated time of possession with no running game, just off the short passing game. It was pretty much there all night, and he was surgical, moving right down the field. But that's just one game. And it was a great game, but it may have turned me over to the pendulum into, maybe get the deal done. I'm not saying I'm calling for $50 million. I'm just saying I'm going to leave it all in the hands of Brad Holmes, and whatever he decides, I would be happy with it. And anything short of $50 million a year, I'd be like, absolutely, go right ahead. Because what was the, I would say, knock on Jared Goff coming into this year? From 2019 to 2021, Jared Goff had pretty much 3 years of mid. That's fair. After 2017 and 2018 being strong, 2019 through 2021 was 3 years of mid. And a lot of people were very skeptical about Jared Goff. But last season, Jared Goff went out and had, in my estimation, the best season of his entire career. But of course, the Lions didn't win anything. It wasn't his fault. He led a top-5 offense, but they didn't win anything. The question was always, can he do it again? Can he validate? And so far this season, Jared Goff has certainly done that, and I've got a lot of numbers to back that up. Last season, Jared Goff was 6th in the NFL in passing yards. This season, he is 5th, and he's on pace for over 200 more than he had last year. Last season, he was 7th in the NFL in yards per attempt at 7.6. This season, he's currently 3rd with 8. Last season, he was tied for 5th in the NFL in passing touchdowns with 29. This season, Jared Goff is on pace for 31. 31, while also throwing single-digit interceptions like he did last year. Last season, Jared Goff was 5th in the NFL in QBR at 63.3. This season, Jared Goff is 4th in the NFL in QBR at 73.3, a whole 10-point difference. Last season, Jared Goff was 7th in the NFL in passer rating at 99.3. This season, Jared Goff is 3rd in the NFL in passer rating at an absurd 105.1.
Yep.
And last season, Jared Goff led a offense that was 5th in the NFL in scoring at 26.6, and this season it's 4th in the NFL in scoring at 28. So pretty much all across the board, Jared Goff not only has validated, but he has improved on everything from last year. And not only that, we talk about last season. The Lions obviously started off slow, went 9-8, missed the playoffs. It wasn't Jared Goff's fault. He still had a great year. But this year, the Lions right now are going from 9-8 and no playoffs last year to tied for the best record in the NFL through 6 games, have as much of a commanding lead in their respective division as any other team in the NFL. And now this is the year where Jared Goff is not only going to have the stats, in my estimation, but the wins, but the division title, hopefully some playoff wins. And at this point, I think this season he's going to end up validating every single thing that maybe we were skeptical that he could validate again. And he's proving every single person wrong. So as of right now, I don't see him falling off. I don't see him doing anything the rest of the year except continuing to be exemplary and the Lions continuing to win. So if Brad Holmes and Jared Goff can get to the table and get an extension done now, what can I say?
No.
What can I say?
Yeah, and the people who are still fighting it, Matt Broder, I think are just dying on a hill that, it's okay to come down. Like, it's all good. You can get off that hill. You can accept it. Like, he's playing like a franchise quarterback. And the biggest thing for Jared, and again, people, and even I brought up, like, my concern for re-signing the others, re-signing a Penei Sewell and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Like, those guys, you still have, a couple years left of control of those guys. And, of course, you're going to have to sign them to a contract extension. But that's up to Brad to figure out a way. Even if you have to lose somebody, because you can't pay every single person on this roster, you have confidence that Brad can fill some of those holes because he's done it. I'm not saying you lose Amon-Ra, but some of those other players that you might not be able to re-sign. The big thing for Jared and what people always said is he's a quarterback you can win with, not win because of. He's changing that narrative. Personally, and I want your thoughts on that because last game, the defense, hell of a job of the defense, but that game offensively was because of Jared Goff. I didn't have to sit there when the run game went out. It's not like Brock Purdy after C-Mac went down. Things are different. Your thoughts on that? I think Goff's turning into a guy you can win because of.
Yeah, I definitely think he took a step in the direction of being a quarterback that you can rely on when things aren't going your way, when the run game isn't working. You can rely on him to lead you to a victory against a good defense. He's one of those guys that I know the detractors like to say it's about the team that's built around him. And, of course, like what quarterback it doesn't rely on the team around him, rely on a good offensive line or rely on good weapons. He's performing as he should with all these things. It's not something we should hold against him. But when contract decision time comes, that is a different story. It's at what price is Jared Goff our guy? Can we afford to pay these other guys or at least build that team around Jared Goff, whether it means getting rid of one of the big ticket guys coming up or not? Can we build a team paying him X amount per year? That's the decision Brad Holmes has to make. And if he decides, no, we can't give Goff $50 million and put the right pieces around to help him be successful, then you start looking at Hendon Hooker. Then you start looking, do we go a different route, draft another quarterback this year? It all depends on what they see in Hendon Hooker and if they believe that they can continue to build the team the way they are with Goff getting 50, 55 million or whatever, the 45, whatever the price is. Maybe it's 40. Maybe they realize we can't build this team paying him 40. That's up to Brad Holmes, and these are the decisions we have to trust them with.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm with you. And that's the whole thing about this whole, like, it's okay to, at first, for me at least, I'm like, man, I don't know if I want to throw $50+ million at Jared because I had 1 year of a sample size. I'm good. Like, I got another 6 games, and he's still playing well. Yeah. So, again, it's okay for those people who last year were hesitant. I understand that. But even to still be hesitant, I mean, he's still playing good football. Yeah. I think this is Jared. I don't think there's going to be this year where, the next 2 years, he just looks like complete trash. I think this is Jared. He's 29 years old. He's in the prime of his career, and he's only getting better.
Yeah, and real quick, his game matches the way the NFL is going, the way the rules are protecting the quarterbacks. You don't need to be as mobile. You don't need to make as many plays plays, like from a Patrick Mahomes type playmaker perspective.
Right.
Sam was talking about yards per attempt, and he's actually improved in that. That to me means it's not how far he's throwing it. He's getting the ball to his weapons. He's leveraging bad matchups and getting them the ball in space so then they can go make plays after they catch the ball. That's how they extend that yards per attempt. Jared Goff is doing that, and he's still getting better. Like Sam said, it's a lot to be excited about still.
Yeah, no, and before we go to break here, I don't really do this much, but I like to nominate a dumbass comment of the day. Can I do that?
Sure.
All right, Trisha Miller.
Yes,
Jeff,
get her.
stop acting like this shit is new. He did it last year. You're gaslighting. What? Because I changed my opinion? Trisha, with new information, you were allowed to change your opinion. I think it'd be worse if I died on this hill and still sat here and said, no, I do not want to pay Goff. I am blind. I am seeing him produce, but no, I will not sign him. Trisha would prefer me to say that. No, Trisha. It's called new information, and Jared is still playing well. I had 1 year of a sample size. It's okay. You could change your opinion. I don't know why Trisha just woke up and someone just took a shit right in her Cheerios, but you know what? It's okay. You don't have to be frustrated. I think this job comes with being wrong a lot, but also you have chances to come around and admit, you know what? I was wrong. Like the whole being hesitant on paying Jared Goff, he's proven me wrong this year, and I'm happy. I love the Lions. But to disagree with somebody and to be called you're gaslighting, come on, Trisha, you do better than that.
No, that was Trisha Miller, you're a valuable member of the Morning Woodward Show and all the other shows on Woodward Sports Community. But it's comments like that make me not even want to praise people. But here's the thing: Jared Goff did have a very fine year last year, and I have never once denied that, not once. But the Lions did not make the playoffs. Wasn't all his fault, by the way. I wouldn't say it was his fault at all. They didn't make the playoffs. They didn't win anything, and his 3 previous seasons were not very good. The fact that we had to see a little bit more as Lions fans, you almost act like if we don't want to make him the highest paid quarterback in the NFL that we're hating or something like that.
Yeah, that's my problem.
We're coming around.
And all Lions fans don't do this, but there are Lions fans like Trisha where I'm just sitting there and it's funny because, like, for example, and I'm sure Trisha was one of these people because it's right on par with who at least I think she is. If you didn't pick the Lions to blow out the Bucs, you're a hater and you just hate the Lions. Like, that stuff, come on, guys. Like, just because I can't sit here and say pay Jared $60 million, $55 million, I'm a hater. Like, and even when I come out and say I will, I'm a hater. So I love it, man. There's no winning, but there's people like that. Like Trisha just constantly complains. So it happens. But some people chiming in here. Let's see here. Underdone. Jeff looks like he runs the show with a laptop and a Panera Line. Nick Burke says Jeff looks like the lost Jonas brother. Jordan says any chance Goff takes less money. I'm honestly, if he does that, cool. But where I'm coming around is I don't even care about the less money thing. I mean, if I'm Goff from his perspective, you have to ask for 50. You're better than Kyler. You're better than Russell Wilson. Why would I ask for less than those guys? And you're weighted to pay me. He still's under contract next year, but man, it's okay. Like, even for the people, and this is to all people out there that said I will not pay Goff. Maybe the heavies changed their opinion. I don't know. I don't know what they've been talking about, Goff. Maybe you guys can fill me in on that. For me, I wanted to keep the others. At this point, you cannot deny that Jared's a franchise quarterback the way he's playing. So give him an extension, Brad. I'm cool with it. That's all. That's my conclusion.
Yep.
And we're on the same page.
We are 100% on the same page.
People would say we're hating.
Oh yeah, we're 100% hating.
Or we're gaslighting.
We're gaslighting. I mean, can you cool it with the dramatics, by the way, Trisha Miller? But by the way, I still value your opinion. But gaslighting is just an insane overreaction. But that's the thing. You're allowed as Lions fans. We're allowed as Lions fans to kind of take in all the data and maybe grow a little bit. People who were on Goff before the season that they should just extend him should be happy that he is validating all of your beliefs and he is even turning me and Jeff. I was 100% on the whole, I got to see it in the playoffs first. But at this point, after that Tampa Bay Buccaneers game, I'm at the point where give him an extension. I'm not even mad. It's called personal growth. It's called seeing Jared Goff validate what he did last year. And everything is happening exactly the way we want it, exactly the way the Goff people want it as well. We're all Goff people at this point. All Detroit Lions people, for the most part, I'd say the vast majority of them are Goff people.
Yeah, a lot of people do that, the gatekeeping stuff.
It's the gatekeeping.
I laugh. Like, It's like me picking Dan to win Coach of the Year before the season. Everyone's like, he's going to win Coach of the Year. I'm like, welcome to the club. Like, welcome. I said this earlier. Who cares?
Get off the bandwagon.
Yeah.
You can't want Dan Campbell to win Coach of the Year because you didn't predict it from the beginning of the season.
Yeah, it's just people are like that. That's just how they are. Not just here, but in general. That's just not who I am as a person. Like, I'm cool. If I'm right, I'm not going to come up here and say, I'm right, I told you. Hey, people will tell me I'm right.
Yeah, Jeff. And Detroit Jabber says, it's okay, Jeff. Have another wheatgrass shot.
That's fair. That is fair. Let's go to break here. When we come back, we'll talk about, speaking of Dan Campbell, Coach of the Year, let's have that conversation. And hopefully no one called it before the season because we're not allowed to talk about it.